everyone, how's it going? Azren here. Hope you guys are doing well. In today's video, I want to talk about being nimble and adapting. And basically what this means is this. Oftentimes, people will go to learn a specific language, whether it's Chinese, French, Spanish, whatever. They go to learn a language, they pick a strategy, and they never change. They literally pick the strategy, they do that entire strategy, they do it for over and over and over and over and over and over, and they never really change it. And it's funny, right? Because I think for a lot of people, that's a bad thing. A lot of people, that's not great, because when you're doing a strategy, often you'll find that you thought a certain strategy would work really well, but it's not working to the level that you thought it would. So changing strategies, being nimble, adapting, and being flexible is something that I highly encourage people to do, and I think a lot of people don't do. Now, one thing, caution, one thing to be very careful of is this. When I say being nimble, when I say you got to adapt, when I say it's a good idea to change, when I say all of that, you also have to be very careful to balance it with not spinning your wheels. Let me explain further. Some people, what they'll do is they'll try a method for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. They'll go, that doesn't work. And then they'll pick a new strategy. Do that for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. That doesn't work. Do a new strategy. And they're spending so much time changing strategies that they're actually wasting a lot of time and energy. Do you know what I mean? And so you have to try and balance adapting and changing with actual consistent effort and staying the course in a lot of ways. It's a super challenge balance. It's super, super tough to try and balance them. But in my perspective, one of the best things you could do, and one of the things that works really well, is when you're doing a specific strategy, right? Let's say you've decided, I'm going to learn a language and I'm going to do the traditional classroom approach. Let's say that's what you chose. Let's say you do that for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, and you're like, this is not working, right? Or it's working in some ways, but not working in others. When you go to change strategies, the number one thing I would say is do not lose the learnings you got from the first strategy. So when you switch, I see this all the time. Someone will take classes, right? They'll take classes a bunch. They'll probably take a break. Often they take a break. They'll take a break from classes, and then maybe they do private classes with me. They'll do private classes. And it's funny, when they leave the classroom and they come with me, often it's so crazy. A lot of what they learned is completely out of their brain. And so the biggest thing is to do whatever you can when you switch strategies, when you switch methods, when you adapt, when you change, when you do that, don't lose the learnings from the previous strategy. If you do that, you're in trouble, and then you're just spinning your wheels. Then it's like you're restarting from square one in a lot of ways, and you're not being 100% efficient, right? And so I think one of the ways to do that, one of the ways to make sure you actually maintain a lot of the learnings from your first strategy, from the previous strategy, is to minimize the amount of time that passes between your transition. So what some people will do is they'll say, wow, that strategy didn't work. And then they'll stop for 4 months. They'll think about it for 4 months and go, ooh, I took classes, that didn't work. I wonder, should I try something else? Maybe I'm just not good at languages. Oh man, what should I do? Maybe, I'm busy with work. And all of a sudden, there's a lot of excuses that come up. And finally, when they've started the new strategy, they've forgotten so much. So one of the big things you can do is just reduce the time between the change that you make, or the adaptation, the change that you make, we'll just say that, the change of strategy that you make sure you're trying to reduce the time between the two if possible. Now, let's flip the coin. We're flipping the coin over. I want to reframe this conversation for teachers. For teachers, in my experience so far, this is probably even maybe more relevant to you than it is for students. And it's probably it is super relevant for a student to actually understand this from a teacher's perspective. Here's why. Teachers, you need to be even more nimble than your students. Because the problem is, your students are going through emotional roller coasters. When things are going well, when they're feeling good about the language, they're really excited. When they hit a hard lesson, they want to quit. It's very normal, especially when they're a beginner. And so as a teacher, you have to be nimble to be able to manage that emotional roller coaster of your students, which is hard. I feel that a lot now, especially since I'm getting more and more students. So you have to be able to balance the emotional roller coaster, and you have to be able to match their needs. So the student might come out and say, I want to do this. And 3 days later, they want to do that. They don't want to do that anymore. They want to do something different. They have a different need. They have a different goal for learning the language. So So as a teacher, you've got to be even more nimble. The worst thing a teacher can do, in my opinion, is pick a strategy for a student or pick a system and just go. No. No, 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 no. You have to be asking all the time, hey, is this working for you? Is this not working, right? And being nimble and seeing what does a student need from you and trying your best to deliver on that. And why does that matter for a student to know? Well, the reason is this. If you have a teacher who is not doing that, you got to try your best to change teachers, if you can, if you have the option, right? So you need to find a teacher who is asking you questions and trying to figure out your motivations and trying to learn more about you and trying to tailor lessons to you. That is the strategy you want to do, because that's a teacher that you can have long term that'll always be there for you. Always. They'll fight for you. They'll help you. So when you are realizing, wow, these private lessons are not working with this teacher, the teacher can maybe support you and go, wow, something, they'll look in the mirror, like myself, I'll give myself an example. If a student is going, wow, this isn't working, I'll look myself in the mirror and go, shame on me, Azren, I'm doing something wrong. I have to change to help my student. Anyway, that's everything for today. That's the rant for today. Hope you guys liked that video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye for now.